Our stories, our voice, our history hasn't always been welcomed. But we learned long ago that if America won't celebrate us, then we will celebrate our own, told our way, on our time. Today we have thousands of Black creators in film. Thousands of books are on the shelves of stores around the world. But it wasn't always as easy. For Lena, for Hattie, for James, for Zora, for Langston, we fought for a place in American history, and we've empowered our own voices, keeping our stories alive. Remember Philando, remember Mike, remember Trayvon, remember Sandra, remember Oscar, remember Brianna. No more will Black voices go unheard. No more will Black stories go unread. We will write our own history and create our own legacies. And each summer in Atlanta, we will gather. We will celebrate. We speak out. Black voices matter. Black stories matter. Black lives matter. Everybody has a story to tell. Make sure that you tell yours. Create your story. Dream out loud.
I mean, literature is the DNA of a culture. When you want to know what happened during an era, you look to the word, whether that word is a book or a song.
Talk to me, so you can see what's going on, what's going on.
Or a film or a poem.
You saying it just want to be loved like it say in the Bible?
Yeah, Celie. Everything want to be loved.
You look to the word. I mean, we still look into the word of books that are millennial old, that are thousands and thousands of years old. And so it's like, it's a time capsule.
Welcome to Inner Self Expressions in partnership with Transforming Life Institute as we present today's webinar, Activate Your Relationship. We want to thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to sharing some valuable information with you. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. Activate your relationship. Today's webinar facilitator is Mrs. Valerie White, relationship coach, mentored by Dr. Diana Rosina Jones. I am a relationship coach. I am in no way a marriage counselor, and I hold no degree in counseling. But what I do possess is real life experience. I've been with my husband for over 27 years. Together, we have raised 4 beautiful children, and we have had many ups and downs. I share with you insight on how to make a relationship last. The information being presented today, it will help those currently in a relationship and those who seek to be in a relationship. Activate. Definition: to make active, cause to function or act, cause your relationship to function in love together, build your happy forever. Housekeeping tips: have pen and paper ready. Journal, journal, journal. Take plenty of notes. It is encouraged so that we may have them to reference at a later time. And also, there will be sections that we pause to allow time to reflect on what is being presented. Table of content: words of love, time spent together, gifts from the heart, deeds of service, physical touch, stuck to or sticking with. Write it down. Communication, change, vulnerability, outside influence, baggage, sticking with. Where is the love? Vulnerability with love. Emotions, euphoric stage, and act now. What are some commonly known languages of love? Words of love, time spent together, gifts of the heart, deeds of service, physical touch. Let us explore the meaning of each one. Take notes as we go through each one. This will offer insight to which one gives you the greatest joy and will help determine your very own unique language of love and also that of your mate. Words of love reflect a verbal compliment, words used to build up a mate, positive verbal communication. A word of love puts a smile on the face and joy in the heart. If words of love are the language for your mate, make yourself note cards and place them in prominent places. Remind yourself to adapt to using this particular language. Wow, you changed your hair. It looks great on you. Is that a new outfit? I am loving the new style. Oh, have you been working out? Look at those abs. I love you just because. Loving you helps me get through a hectic day at work. Words of love reflect the spoken, and let's not forget a written word. Keep a written record for 2 weeks of the words of love shared with your mate, and each week sit down to review them with your partner. Make sure to ask how it makes each other feel and take note of the response, as this helps to identify the primary language of love for you and for your mate. This will open the line of communication while aid in getting comfortable with expressing love in this manner. A win-win situation. Mate feels love in their own language, and the other reaps the benefits for a job well done. Does time spent together say, I love you? Time spent together is spending time giving someone your undivided attention. There's no other way to put this. And take note, this is undivided attention being the key. We want your full attention. Reflect on the questions below. When we go out to eat, is the cell phone, yes, the cell phone, is it the center of attention? We are surfing Facebook, we're returning emails, sending text messages, checking the voicemail. Is that full attention, or is the attention divided between the cell phone and your mate? Here's a suggestion. Keep that cell phone in your pocket. Have eye-to-eye contact with your mate. Or when we're at home, is the focus on the television, or is it on getting ready for the next day, putting the kids to bed? Take the time to sit back, deep breath, let it out, and give your mate all of you. Let your mate know that they're the center of the attention. Let's remember, time spent together means we want your full, undivided attention. Ask for a list of activities your mate would like to do together, and give your mate a list of things that you would like to do that will allow fulfillment for both of you. Keep in mind, it may not be something you enjoy, but it's the enjoyment of your mate that really matters. Keep your attitude in check. If your mate feels that you don't want to do the activity, it can have the opposite effect of what is actually intended. And the intent is to spend time, to spend quality time with your mate. Keep that attitude on the down low. The intent is to show your mate you truly do want to spend undivided time with them. You're showing your mate you love them in the voice they can best connect with. The key to a happy relationship is to communicate the love in the voice that your partner understands best. This will allow the message of love to get across and to be received. Now, I have a little quest for you. Combine the list and commit to that quality time for at least 2 weeks. The quest is on. Shall we begin? Now, if time spent together is what speaks to your mate, make yourself notes to spend time with them. Include a list of activities that will bring pleasure and satisfaction while incorporating spontaneity into the equation. Now, place the notes in prominent places to remind yourself to commit to spend the time together to better connect with your mate. Be spontaneous. Be spontaneous in your quest. Time to reflect. Words of love. Make a list of 7 statements affirming love. I love your new hairstyle. It looks great on you. That blue suit is awesome. It brings out the color of your eyes. Now you have statements affirming love to use for each day of the week to get started. Time spent together. This is giving someone your full attention. Write down 7 ideas that would allow quality time with your mate. Schedule time to go to the park. Just take a walk. Stop to smell the roses and to feel the beauty surrounding you. Be spontaneous when you get home. Turn off the television and turn on the music and just dance. Just dance to the beat. Gifts of the heart. Does an occasional surprise gift speak volume to your partner? Now, a gift does not have to cost a great deal of money. What makes the person feel love is the sentiment itself. The thought that you took the time to pick it out is sometimes all that is needed. Pick a flower from the garden. Surprise your mate before going to work. Get a box of the Cracker Jacks. The surprise is the prize. Get a card for 50 cents and just write, I love you. Pick up a screwdriver that's been lost. Write a poem expressing how much you love them. Draw a picture of the love you have for your mate. The gift comes from the heart and it doesn't have to cost. But now, if the budget allows, splurge once in a while and live in the glow of your mate. If gifts of the heart is what expresses your love to your mate, make a list of 7 inexpensive gifts that you could get started. The gift can be placed in plain view or make a game of it. Send your mate on a treasure hunt. You can experience the joy and excitement when your mate uncovers the hidden treasures. A gift per day keeps the marriage counselor at bay. Challenge yourself to give a gift for 2 weeks or longer. If you're not sure what to give, enlist the help of family and friends. Ask the kids, they're great help in what a parent may want. Ask your mate if there's something special they would like to have that is within the budget. Have fun with the gifts of the heart. Deeds of the heart. Deeds of the heart may mean the difference in a happy you fill in the blank for a happy life. Think about the last time you did something for your mate. Did it enhance the mood? What did you do? Could doing more deeds of the heart enrich the relationship? Ponder over those questions. It may be the key to the communication with your mate. Examples of deeds of the heart: cleaning the car, putting the children to bed, making a trip across town to get their favorite smoothie, taking over a household chore for a week or two. Deeds of the heart allow room to be creative. Take advantage of this opportunity. To add just a little spice to the deeds of the heart, write a note to your mate today. I will show my love for you by, and then ask your mate what they would like and or desire in this category. When we ask our mate what would they like done, we have to be willing to complete the task. Dear love, today I will, just to show you how much you mean to me. Now here's where we could turn up the heat. Be willing to step outside of your comfort zone. Experiment with the deeds of the heart. See which ones have the greatest impact. Does washing the dishes put a huge smile on your mate's face? Can we use a change of scenery? Rearrange the living quarters? May be a good place to start. If not sure, be willing to ask your mate if there is something special they would like done just for them. Don't be shy, because love is the reason why. Time to reflect. We've covered words of love, time spent together, gifts of the heart. Challenge yourself to give a gift for 7 days. Deeds of the heart. Experiment with the 7 deeds of the heart. See which ones have the greatest impact. Take a moment to jot some more down. Physical touch is exactly as stated. Holding hands, a brush across the cheek, a slow, intimate kiss, a massage. There is so much to explore with physical touch. Let your imagination take the lead. Now, physical touch does not necessarily mean leading to the act of ... you fill in the blank. But it does exemplify intimacy as being in love and showing it by the means of physical touch. We must not, however, forget intimacy. Knowing what your partner desires is crucial if this is the primary language of love. The goal, the objective, is to connect with your mate in a way that clearly states, I love you completely. Being comfortable to discuss what a mate desires in this area will ensure a love tank that is full. And if the love tank is full, each mate will experience true love, which can last not just a lifetime, but a lifetime and beyond. Physical touch may not be easy for some, and it may seem awkward. So at first, I advise to start off slow and build up to it. Start with a holding the hands. But here's where you can also get creative. Make a list of 7 physical touches and work your way up until it feels comfortable for you. Your mate will appreciate the effort and will give the effort in return to communicate in your love language. We have shared this information with you first to let you know that no matter where we are in a relationship, there are things that we can do to enhance it. There are things that we can do to make it better. And if we are not in a relationship right now, these are things that we can reflect on right now as we are seeking to be in a relationship. Take a few seconds to reflect on this, jot down any notes as we continue. Now we will explore the nuts and bolts to get to the bottom of what's truly going on in a relationship. Stuck to or sticking with? This is a question to be explored to get to the root of what's really going on, and it will help us to gain understanding to apply as a starting point to turn things around. Let's start out asking the question, Are you stuck to, or are you sticking with your mate? Not currently in a relationship? Do you want to be stuck to, or sticking with a mate? Thinking maybe it's time just to call it quits, but you love each other. Something is just not connecting, and I can't figure out what's missing. Are you ready to turn things around? Fill in the blank that describes where we are right now. Next, fill in where you want to be. I have to because I'm with this person. I am doing because I love this person I am with. Now, stuck to implies don't have a choice. I don't see a way out, and I don't see a reason to stay. I learned early on in the relationship, nagging does not get us what we want. I learned the hard way. I was listening to a man give a speech during a retreat. This man was explaining why he didn't want to go home because as soon as he opened the door, his spouse fired off with things like, "You're late. You never think to call. Now, dinner is cold. I had to get the kids with their homework. I had to get them ready for bed. I still have to get us ready for tomorrow. I wish you could be more like." Ask yourself, would you want to come home to something like that every day? But that is what happens in quite a few relationships. I saw myself in that moment when I was hearing that speech, nagging, realizing I was only driving my partner away. I didn't know how to change it, so I stopped nagging, but I also shut down completely. No nagging and no meaningful conversation. It became a situation of being in love with someone who I felt did not want to be with me. I retreated deeper within myself and I sought out ways to fill my time, my emotions, and my mind. Sticking with or stuck to became the question that I pondered over and over and over. Is this one of your questions? Sticking with implies making a conscious decision to be with someone for love in the good and in the bad times. Now, I made the conscious decision to stay in the relationship for various reasons at the time. It was the kids' first choice to stay. I don't want to be alone. I'm scared to go and get another relationship. I want to make this one work. Giving up, is it really the way to go? Do I give up? Fear of the unknown and my own inner turmoil of feeling that I am not lovable. I was staying, but not yet, for the right and the true reason of choosing it to be love and to grow together with my mate. If you can relate to any of this, you're in the right place. If you have not experienced any of this, you're still in the right place because we're sharing ways to help each of us to have a fulfilled dream becomes reality relationship right here and now. We no longer have to wish for it. Write it down. Henriette Ann Clouser says, if you know what you want, you can have it. Writing keeps the sense of wonder and is grounded in the same now scientific truth that setting your intent, focusing on the outcome, being clear about what you want and what you want in life can make your dreams come true. The step is to write it down. In other words, write down exactly what you want to bring and what you want to receive in a relationship and focus on making it clear to the very minute detail. This needs to incorporate how both communicate in the relationship. What are the expectations in the relationship? What do we want to achieve and how will we get there? What are our hopes, dreams, and ambitions? How will household duties be performed? How will the toilet paper be on the roll? Is the toothpaste squeezed from the bottom up? All minute things, but very important to sustain a happy relationship. Write it down to the very minute detail. Do we want children? And if so, how many? Will we be a stay-at-home parent household? How will disciplining children be handled? And by whom? Does leaving a trail of clothes really bother us? How will we fulfill each other romantically? All of these things need to be addressed in a relationship. And if we're seeking a relationship, these are things that we want to make sure to be addressed, as well as your own individual questions. These are some examples to get us started to thinking about what we want to bring to the relationship and what we want to receive. And this is vulnerability uncovered, showing sticking with. This is the perfect opportunity for someone seeking a relationship to get prepared. Understanding who you are and what you desire, envisioned and written down while drawing that perfect mate to you. Vulnerability at its finest to lead to sticking with your mates. Is there a communication gap? A communication gap can be a lack of speaking in the partner's primary language of love because there is always communication in one form or another. That slamming, that door slamming, that's communication. That raised voice is communication. Rolling of the eyes, another form of communication. Smacking your lips, putting your hands on your hip, that head rolling back and forth. All of these are ways of communicating. It may not be verbal, but it is still there. There is dialect, unless the household is made up of complete silence. and no activity. I shared with you how I had just shut down. I had started holding it all in until it grew and festered and became bitterness and resentment and anger. I began to force myself not to care. I said, you might as well write it off. It's not going to happen anyway. One by one, I checked them off. Think about what is really being communicated in a relationship. Is it meaningful to both of you? Is it leading to happy forever? And do you want it to be meaningful? Think about that for a moment. Okay, women, I need to address this here. Let's make an observation. Do we sometimes think he ain't listening to me? And those famous words come next. Are you listening to me? What has to be observed here is men need time to process things. They're not ignoring us. They are just processing the information. Their brain is held together differently. You've heard that saying. From the words of Jack Canfield, men need time to go to their man cave, their special place, to process things or involve themselves in an activity that allows them to think. When they process it and feel satisfied and are comfortable with the solution, then they're ready to address it. We need time to process things as well. Our process is different. Women, we want them to discuss it now, but we have to give them that time and space. And it may be hard at first. Believe me, it is definitely necessary. And this can hold true for any relationship, not just man and woman. Your children, they need time to process things. They need time to figure it out. Parents, we need to give them that space as well. So this can be applied to any relationship. My mate and I made an arrangement. We allowed 3 days for him to process and come to a satisfactory resolution. Then it is time to discuss it. Now, during the 3 days, I do not bring it up. I don't mention it, and I don't pester him about it. Now, if he does not approach me on day 3, I am very comfortable approaching him with the subject because this is our preset agreement. This is how we will keep the line of communication open, especially on subjects that we may not agree on. And we have this understanding. It is okay to agree to disagree. But you see, it didn't start off like this. These are things that we've learned over years of time. Now, just imagine if you have this up front and you have it discussed and worked out and preset, you can avoid some of those downfalls or the pitfalls just by applying this information. A brief moment to reflect on the languages of love. Getting familiar with these, it can certainly help us to see the need for communication it also gives us insight on how to make the communication last. Is there room for change? Definitely. Start with you. Write down how you perceive yourself first as an individual. Then write down how you see yourself in a relationship. These things can be done, and it doesn't matter if we're currently single, seeing someone, living together, and or married. Be authentic with yourself. Be truthful with yourself. See all sides. Look very closely at the person in the mirror and be truthful, because this is the way to better understand who we really are. Is there room for change? Definitely. Start with you. Write down your great qualities. For example, are you a great cook? Do you keep your living quarters in an immaculate state? Or do you walk out of the house looking like you belong on the cover of a reputable magazine? No matter what qualities we have, write them down. On the same token, write down the qualities that are not so flattering. Do we pick boogers out of our nose? Do we chew with our mouth open? Can we curse with the best of them? Is there a temper that's easily provoked? Or do we whine to get our way and or bully the other person? The not so good qualities need to be written down as well. We want to look at ourselves in the mirror and we want to get the full, complete picture of who we really are. We can do this if we're in a relationship right now, if we're married, living together, and we can certainly do this as singles so that we can get the best understanding of who we are and who we would like to be connected to forever. All qualities matter in a relationship. While writing the not so flattering qualities, include this information in the letter: the desire and the willingness to grow, the willingness to change. My mate understands my flaws and embraces me just as I am, because he knows that I am a work of art in process. Now that we have an understanding of self and our alter ego, focus on what we're looking for in a partner and what qualities do they bring to the table. Or better yet, what qualities do we want them to bring to the table? Think about that for just a moment. And write it down. Make it happen. Henriette Ann Clouser has examples of writing letters to a mate. A woman wanted to be happily married, so as a single person, she began to write letters to her mate. It states, "What writing the letters did for me was help me feel how real it could be. Then I thought, If this is real, then it's just a matter of time. I just had to wait, and it would happen. Take a look at the letter below, as this is just one example to help us get started. Letter to my soulmate. He is not afraid of strength or weakness in a woman. He admires and nourishes it. He will need me. He will need my vision and love of life. He will be grateful for my hopefulness. Together, there will be nothing we can't do or be. We will stand together, yet separately, and will nourish each other. As we reflect, I want to ask two questions. Do we see a need for change? Do we want the change to last? Take a moment to reflect on the information. Are you really ready to be in a committed and serious relationship? If the answer is yes, then it's time to be bold, daring greatly. Make the change. And I also ask you, if you're really, really ready to be in a committed and serious relationship, do you want that relationship to be forever? Because your actions have to align with what you're speaking. Think about that one as well. Brene Brown says, vulnerability is not knowing victory or defeat. It is understanding the necessity of both. It's engaging. It's being all in. Vulnerability is not weakness, and the uncertainty we face every day is not optional. Our willingness to own and engage with our vulnerability determines the depth of our courage and clarity of our purpose. The level to which we protect ourselves from being vulnerable is a measure of our fear. When we spend our lives waiting until we are perfect or bulletproof, we ultimately sacrifice relationships. We must walk in the arena into a new relationship with courage. Take courage now. Walk in vulnerability. This is very true, and it can begin right where we are, this very moment. Single, living together, and or married. We can begin to manifest the relationship that we truly desire. This is a sample love letter to get us started. My mate has black, wavy hair, brown, beautiful eyes, muscle definition, trim waist, 6 feet 2 inches and lean, and he likes short women who are. This will definitely trigger the euphoric feelings to rise and allow you to be content in knowing this is your reality because you're preparing yourself for it now and you're drawing your soulmate or your mate to you. The huge mountains are non existent because you are specific, opening yourself up to be completely vulnerable, completely open on paper and in your thoughts right now. Try it and feel the euphoric state start to take presence, start to take shape. Now let's delve into outside influences. Do outside influences have a role in your relationship? What role? Let's take a look at an outside influence and what effect it has on a relationship. Here's an example. You get in an argument with your mate. Do we pick up that phone and call our best friend? Does the best friend give advice? What type of advice is given by your BFF? The well-intended advice. Does this help you decide what the next course of action in the relationship is? Did it help you decide at one time or another? Do we sometimes regret listening to that individual, even if it was well-intended advice? Do we wish we could have taken back our action from listening to that advice instead of following our own heart or following our own mind? Do we bring traditions and sayings out of our family into the relationship? Did someone share with you how men and or women really are? How they can't be trusted? Did others say that one is up to no good? They love them and leave them. Oh, girl, we saw them out in the pool, didn't have on a swimming suit. You gon' get it messing with them. They always up to no good. Have we heard things like that before in our life? Think about it. Does it have an effect on your relationships? Is it advice that we can let go of? Start fresh? Baggage. Yes. Is there baggage that we ourselves are carrying from previous relationships? Now is the time to write it down and examine each one very carefully. Now, we all seek out advice. Sometimes it's good, and other times it's not. So let's take a moment to write down outside influences, traditions, and baggage, and how they have affected our previous relationships or a current relationship we're in. And if we are single, let's still ponder this information so that we can understand the effects that outside influences and traditions and even baggage could have on the relationship that we truly seek. Sticking with. Now, I knew I wanted change in my relationship, but I didn't know how to obtain it until I started spiritual life coaching with Dr. Di. And through coaching, I learned how to manifest the life I want for me. I acted upon my own relationship, and I activated my life in a very positive way. I first learned how to meditate and to hear the answers for myself, as all the answers I sought or seek are in me. This is how to overcome needing outside sources to influence and or help me with decisions regarding my relationship. The answers we seek are within us. Take courage, dare boldly, write it down, and then listen to your own inner voice, your own inner spirit. You have the answers. Trust and believe. And a word to those seeking to be in a relationship: advice is free. Doesn't mean we should take it. Learning to understand yourself will allow you to tap into your own inner self here and now. Now, I'm not saying not to seek advice. I'm saying just examine how we use that advice. Examine it carefully. These are the steps I took to activate or act upon my relationship. I share them with you now. Journal. Keep a journal. Write down your thoughts throughout the day on being in a relationship. See if they're positive and or negative. Write positive statements, mantras, and or note cards, and definitely write love letters to counteract any negative statements. Dream it into existence. The feeling you experience while dreaming puts your mind in a very happy state, and your subconscious mind will begin to activate, and bring that happy state into existence. Speak the positive declarations out loud several times a day about your ideal relationship and sense how good it makes you feel. Keep that sense with you throughout the day. Manifest the ideal relationship. Manifest the relationship you desire. Meditate on positive statements and continue to add on more. Envision the relationship you desire. Incorporate positive statements about your qualities as well as the qualities of your partners. Foresee the qualities in both of you. Print out statements and hang it throughout the home and the workplace. Make it a screensaver on your phone and on your desktop, because what you think about, your subconscious mind will pull it forward. Be conscious, be aware of what you're thinking about. I used to tell myself that I am unlovable. And with telling myself that, I was pushing my mate away. And I finally realized I can be loved. I am worthy of love. Through the help of meditation, through the help of writing down, I am worthy to be loved. I now enjoy the love that my mate feels for me each and every day. Practice speaking the positive declarations. Look in the mirror and let it resonate into your soul, and enjoy the sense of love it brings. Visualize the connection you want with a mate. Visualize how problems and disagreements will be resolved. All of these things are important to get that ideal relationship, the relationship that is so desired. How long is forever? Do we really want a relationship that is forever? Let's take a moment to reflect on what it really, really takes to build a sticking with relationship forever. Can I commit and work at forever? Where is the love? Gary Chapman writes, inside every child is an emotional tank waiting to be filled with love. When a child really feels love, he will develop normally. But when the love tank is empty, the child will misbehave. Much of the misbehaving is motivated by cravings of an empty love tank. The misbehaving is a misguided search for love. We've all heard the saying, looking for love in all the wrong places. Do we learn to live with it the way it is? Write down some things that we're just living with. Is our love tank empty? The desire for romantic love never leaves us. It is a part of our makeup as male and female. The love does not just disappear, in most cases anyway. We speak different love languages, and expressing love, it must be in the language one understands or connects with. We examine how we felt growing up. What made us feel the love of our parents? Let's think about that for a moment. Some of us grew up in a family that promoted high self worth, while others heard affirmations that led to a low self worth. What would happen to a person to hear someone say, "You are so smart, beautiful, and I am confident you can do it. You can hit the baseball and get the home run. You can ace that spelling test. You can do it. I know you can." What if all that was heard is, "You are worthless, good for nothing"? Just like, is this good self esteem or low self esteem? Do you think that this has a negative impact on a relationship or could have a negative impact? Because this individual's love tank is empty or is very low and it needs to be filled up. That's why we can counteract it with positive statements. We can do mantras to counteract it, and we can certainly meditate. Were you one who liked to hear parents saying, "You're doing a good job. I am so proud of you"? Were you one who loved for parents to give you a hug or let you sit on their lap and hear their heartbeat? Think back, because this holds the key to learning your own unique language of love. And it can help you to see yourself and to see your partner in a new light, in a different way. Could these things have anything to do with vulnerability? If you have a low self esteem versus a high self esteem, do we hide truth so as not to appear as vulnerable? Again, we examine, does it relate to a low self esteem or does it relate to a high self esteem? Brene Brown says, Wholehearted living is about engaging in our lives from a place of worthiness, cultivating the courage, compassion, and connection to wake up, think, no matter what's get done today and how much of it is left undone, I am enough. Go to bed thinking, yes, I am imperfect and vulnerable and sometimes afraid. This does not change the truth of I am also brave and worthy of love and belonging and acceptance. There are two groups of people: those who feel a deep sense of love and belonging, and those who struggle for it. Those who feel lovable, who love, simply believe they are worthy of love. They don't have an easier life, and they don't have fewer struggles. In the midst of it all, they've developed the practice that enabled them to hold on to the belief that they are worthy of love. A strong belief of being worthy of love, it has to be cultivated. I shared with you the struggle I had. I always felt that I was not worthy of love, and I had to counteract that with this statement right here. I have the strong belief that I am worthy of love, and I had to work at it. I had to practice. I had to meditate. I had to write it down. It had to be cultivated. And this is what some people are still struggling with. Here is where we can make a huge difference in a relationship. The individual has to feel and believe they are worthy of love. Here's one mantra: I love my husband so much, and I want him to feel worthy of being loved. Seeking to be in a healthy and happy relationship, ask this question: are we really willing to appear vulnerable? Ask this question and be honest. Do we really want to be in a committed relationship forever? Do we say yes, but our actions show otherwise? Let me give this example. There's an individual that lives alone, just got into a committed relationship where they're sharing dwelling quarters. The individual is used to coming and going at will. Now that there's someone living together, there has to be change and there has to be compromise. So the question becomes, are you willing to give up or change your singleness into togetherness? And are you willing to work on that forever? Marriage vows say, till death do us part. Are you willing to stick it out till death do us part? And if so, would you rather it be a happy, blissful, together forever, or just stuck to, sticking with, or stuck to? Emotions. Is the emotional tank full or is it empty? I had a real eye opener. I knew nothing at all about the different languages of communicating surrounding love. I thought everyone should be like me. So, what is wrong with him? I didn't understand. I am giving you all. I'm giving you everything I have within me. Why can't you do the same? On the same token, my partner was also giving his all. We were both exhibiting love, but it was in foreign language because each of us was expressing love in our own natural, familiar language of love. We were experiencing a gap in communicating love for each other in the other's love language. What happened to the love is both are speaking a different love language. The message is distorted and it is not reaching the intended recipient. Could this be what you are experiencing or have experienced in your own relationship? And I say this to the single individual. Think about it. When you are committed to someone, to make it last, it is imperative to know your natural language of love and to learn your partner's natural language of love. And we shared at the beginning the 5 most common ones. And we did that for a reason so that you could see and apply them as we're going through this information now, where there may be a gap in communication and how it can be corrected. Euphoric stage. What is the euphoric period of being in love? How long does it last? Take a guess at it as we examine it closer. Gary Chapman wrote, the late psychologist Dr. Dorothy Tennov conducted long-range studies in the in-love phenomenon and concluded the average lifespan of a romantic obsession is 2 years. Those traits we overlook and or thought we could live with when we were in love now become huge mountains. Is the toilet paper roll facing inward or outward? Is the toothpaste squeezed from the middle, or should it be rolled up from the bottom? Is that pile of clothes on the floor, should they be placed in a basket? Who should really be doing the household chores? Huge mountains that can be rectified. Now, just imagine 2 years, we're okay with all of these things, and then you hit that point where every little thing bothers us. That could be because that in love phenomenon, the euphoric stage, has subsided, and reality, baby, reality is setting in. We could also think during that 2 year time, we're trying to present our best. We're putting our best foot forward. And then you're together, and the longer you're together, you let your real self come out. The real self is the one that we need to take a look at to see, can we commit to the real self in a relationship forever? And how can we keep that love flowing, glowing, and blossoming after the euphoric stage? Is it physical appearance, the way they pronounce their name, or the intellect they display? Is it a combination of physical characteristics and personality traits that create the sparks and the bells? Is it the butterflies in our stomach every time we think about that person? This is known as the euphoric state, a time in a relationship of getting to know one another. So we set out to discover if true love is really knocking on our door. First interactions are definitely not enough to make a conscious decision, so we embark on dating. We want to get to know each other as we are infatuated with the other person. We develop the illusion that the other person is perfect for us. We can't live without them. We will be in love forever, and nothing can change that. Here is another sample letter to my soulmate. He will not be afraid of the strength or weakness in a woman. He admires and nourishes it. He will need me, my vision, and my love of life. Together, there is nothing we can't do or be. We will stand together, yet separately, and will nourish each other. Soulmate, I must be concrete in this visualization so as not to shirk my real desire for you. Now, the reality has set in and the euphoric period is over. Writing love letters is a great way to get started in building a lasting relationship. Recapture and hold on to that euphoric period. Write it down. Things to ponder over. Think about the relationship. How long did it take for the euphoric state to dissipate? What were some of the things that we thought were cute or that we thought we could change in a mate? Were we successful in changing a behavior or a habit? Do you think it could help to write down the traits that we actually want in a mate in our love letters? What do we do when the euphoric stage is over? Do we give up or do we look for ways to continue growing in love? We can discover our own primary language of love and that of our mate to capture a new, long-lasting, committed love that will lead to happiness in a relationship. Keep the euphoric stage alive. Words of love. Does it make you feel loved and cherished to hear it? I love you. You're beautiful. Your mind is awesome. Time spent together. Does time spent together have a deeper meaning for you? I enjoyed taking that walk with you today. It was so refreshing. Gifts of the heart does not mean you're a gold digger. It is the way you best connect to feeling loved. Thank you. I will cherish it always. Deeds of the heart gives you the feeling of being loved. I appreciate your filling up the car this morning. It saved me a half hour getting to work. Physical touch is a more personal way to say, I love you, that you receive above all others. Holding hands. We now have a better understanding of the languages of love and ways to determine which is more attractive to you as well as which is more attractive to your mate. Act now. Start building you're happy forever. If there were a magic pill with no side effects, would we take it to get the perfect relationship? Ponder over that question. If the answer is yes to taking the magic pill, are you willing to work at it each and every day to obtain the same results? Thinking about the languages of love, which ones or which one gives you the greatest joy and make you feel like you can conquer the world and or you are on top of the world? Now, let us leave the bedroom play out for a moment. When you think about the answer to that question, which one gives the greatest joy or makes you feel like you can conquer anything, this is most likely your primary language of love. However, we can favor more than one, and we can favor one over the other based on different times in our lives. I have been through needing to hear the words, I love you. Then I've had times where I just need to be held. Either way, we all have a primary language of love, one that we favor over all others. This is a result of our makeup, our family, environment, and our journey in life. And that's okay. We may have more than one love language that we favor. That's okay as well. The key point is we all need to communicate these things to our mate so that our mate can develop the sense of communicating with us in the language that we desire the most. That's the key point. I want to share with you the letter that I wrote to my soulmate. Dear soulmate, we have been together for 27 years, and I have just discovered my primary love language, and it thrills me as much as it scares me because I never knew such a thing existed. And I'm looking back over the years, and I'm finding our trouble is not a lack of love, it is a lack of communicating this love to each other. Soulmate, I pray you will be receptive to understanding this is vital to our happiness. I ask you to let me understand how to best communicate my love for you in your own love language. And in order to do this, I need to understand what your primary love language is. I love you so much that I am not afraid of being vulnerable in your presence because I want to make it work. I put all pride aside, are you willing to do the same for me? My husband shares our story with others, and to quote him, I don't exactly know what she is doing, but I am reaping the benefits and am the happiest I have ever been. This is how I know the steps presented here today work, because I have personally tested and tried them for myself, and I too am reaping the benefits. My marriage has new love, new life, and new joy because I started with changing me. I opened myself up to the idea that I can have the relationship I desire. I will have the relationship I long for. Now I live it. Now we do have to work at it each and every day. Now I've shared with you one of my own love letters to my partner to show it is possible to start where we are right now in a relationship and or single to turn it around. My husband and I were at one time 1 foot from getting a divorce. It was a very troubling and scary time, and we both experienced moments of allowing ourselves to be open, not caring about vulnerability. Appearing to be weak was removed because we embraced openness with one another, and now know that we can have happy forever because we both deserve it and we are worthy. Yes, we are worthy of each other's love. We can have the relationship we desire by using the techniques shared here today. Try it for yourself. I did, and I am loving it. We can have the relationship we desire by using the techniques shared here today. Try it for yourself. I did, and I am loving.
Okay, y'all. For real, no, how y'all doing though? It's hot. Tell me. Hi, I'm Tamika Newhouse, and I am the founder of AAMBC, African Americans on the Move Book Club. Back in 2008, I was in San Antonio, Texas. I wanted to be a part of a book club, but I didn't know anyone in the city. And I felt it was kind of weird to walk up to other grown women and be like, hey, you want to read with me? You want to be my friend? So therefore, I took to MySpace and I started to talk about the books I have read. Through that format, I met hundreds and hundreds of writers, and I decided to talk about their books and launch their books and give them a platform. And visually see what it is that you perceive. So I thought that was really good. It's more than just telling us what we want, it's showing us. And that's really hard for a lot of writers to do. I'm kind of proud. In 2009, I decided to launch the AAMBC Literary Awards because I noticed that as an artist, we didn't have a platform where we were celebrated. There were the music shows, there were the award shows for movies and actors and Broadway. I'm like, well, hey, hello, what about us? You know, we don't have a show for us either, and we're artists as well. And so therefore, I decided to launch the awards in San Antonio, Texas. It eventually traveled to Baltimore, and now here we are in Atlanta. It's not about one person. It's not about one genre. It's about all of us as a unit. Thank you all for coming out, and I hope you enjoy the show.